Mr. Whiteshield. I'm from Standing Rock as well.
I'm Jeremy from Standing Rock too.
I'm Taylor Strasburg from AKT, Wyoming.
And some more reason for that.
John, I'm from Standing Rock as well.
So today our topic is on Native Americans foster care. Our question today is, why is it important for Native Americans to obtain foster care licensing? One of the key definitions was foster care, for raising or supervision for foster children as orphans or delinquents in an institution, group home, or private home, usually arranged through a government or social service agency that provides remuneration for expenses.
My article was by by a whole group of people anyway that came together to make the family group decision making, the FGDM they call it. And it's a program that implements the kinship system that Native Americans run by. So they pushed on Pine Ridge Reservation to get natives to remember that the kinship system means we're all relatives and we all take care of each other's children. Because in South Dakota alone, 53% of the children in foster care are Native American, which makes them 7 times more likely to wind up there. And there isn't enough Native Americans in the foster care system to pull them out of there. So the program was designed in like 2011 to help it started on Pine Ridge Reservation to help inform communities to be part of the foster care licensing system, which I just got licensed, and within the first month of being licensed, I got offered to see if I could hold a few children. That was super quick. There's super high need because the program was created to keep Native American children in their communities because of IGWA and all that stuff. They're being pulled out. The kinship system, it just helps remind us that we're all relatives, and to empower our communities, we all have to keep the little ones in our communities and help them stay safe, to improve the life of Native Americans and the children in the foster care system. It's fairly easy. I'm a single mom, so even if you guys could go out and just talk to anybody you know and get them to be involved, that's the whole point of us picking this topic, just because I think every one of us, I was in foster care when I was a kid, like everyone knows somebody or has been part of the system, they made the program because the government funded all of this because they knew that they had created intergenerational grief and trauma, and this was their solution to kind of help us, but they can't do it for us, so it takes us to do it as a community, and that was my article.
My article is report profiles Native American foster care high placement rate for access to funds. It's written by Kevin Miller, and it talks about calling on the federal government to provide tribes with direct access to the public child welfare funding. The Tribal Foster Care and Adoption Act will grant access to the funds and hold tribes accountable to make sure that they meet the necessary acts for children in their care. About 40% of North Dakota children in foster care are Native American. Agencies working with Indian children are familiar with tribal culture and often are removing children when they don't need to be, says Damon Simmons, an advocacy for the National Indian Child Welfare Association. I bring this to attention because agencies are trying to work with Native American children and are trying their best, but don't understand culturally that us Native Americans work better together. Native American children were more likely to be identified as victims of neglect and less likely to be identified as victims of abuse than any other ethnic group. The Indian Child Welfare Act passed in 1978. This granted Native American children to be kept in native homes when possible. But with lack of homes, awareness, and training by social services agencies resulted in inconsistent flexibility nationally. The 560 federal recognized tribes have access to the money received by the federal government on child welfare with states' permission.
Thank you.
Introduce article title, into the Indian foster technique, strategy by Governor Store. The article is about a state worker, often placed in Native American with non-native family. This is due very few Native American having become foster parents, opening their home or way to raise. Native kids often get moved from one place to the other. In 1998, a study was found that Native kids placed in all-native homes face more mental health damage. When these foster children are moved from place to place, they often have nothing to draw on. There's Chris James, a state worker and a member of tribe in Alaska. Once they learn who they are, they tend to start to bring to the culture. The children, which study named Willie Feather, come from both a large Native American culture and more profound sense of education. This is why very important for Native Americans to open their home to a foster care relation. They must to keep their kids into the Native community. Also make sure to make education culture of conditions mandatory for the foster home that takes in Native children.
Thank you.
In this article titled Disconnected, Native Children in Foster Care Face a Loss of Cultural Identity, it talks about how there's not many Native foster parents in the system, which could cause the foster kids to lose their connection to their tribe and culture. There are only 11% of Native foster families, and at the end of 2023, nearly 74% of the foster care system was Native American children. Some states don't require the adopted parents to take cultural and traditional classes. They are only required to watch a panel discussion where the Federal Indian Child Welfare Act is supposedly explained and are only to cite a paper after. Kids who are taken from their homes are already having mental health problems, and that can be traumatic for them. Also, being taken away from the tribe and what culture they know can cause more physical and mental health problems. Having instability as a child, which is caused from being taken away from your culture and family, can also grow to affect you as an adult. Studies show that when Native kids in foster care are more connected to their culture, it brings up their emotional well-being. Being Native American, it's good to be connected to your tribe and know where you come from. When kids are more connected to their cultural ways, it reduces the risk of trauma and health problems. Kids are a lot more comfortable and come out of their shell when they know that they are being taken care of and being more connected to their culture and tribe.
Thank you.
According to Terry L. Cross, the founder and executive director of the National Indian Child Welfare Act Association and a member of the Seneca Nation, stated that Native American children are still being taken from the homes and being placed in non-Native foster homes. On November 8th of 1978, ICWA became a law to Congress that Native American children are to be protected and are to reside with Native families. Native American children were ripped from their families, culture, and traditional way of life, and it still happens to this day. It is important that Native American children be placed with Native American families so that they can sustain their traditional way of life rather than be placed in non-Native homes for their own benefit. For years, ICWA had not been followed by the federal government, leaving Native American children still being placed in homes other than their own communities. Terry L. Cross states, "As American Indian people, we will bring the darkness of such acts into the light to protect our children." In 1978, Congress attempted to bring healing to our people by enacting the Indian Child Welfare Act. Congress acknowledged our tribal legitimacy of tribal sovereignty and supported our self-determination. Nonetheless, the Indian country is willing to do anything in its power to see that it will remain the law of the land and protect our children.
Good.
My summary is more based on like a possible solution for foster care. So my article is about the implementation of culturally appropriate practice model for Native American foster care facilities. Sorry. It follows the ideas and the practices of 3 current tribal welfare systems. The author of this article is part of the Mountains and Plains Welfare Implementation Center, based in, I think it was in Colorado or Utah, which it collaborates with the 3 tribal welfare agencies that they weren't really named, but they were small in rural areas and were understaffed. They had only 7 to 15 employees who would do multiple jobs and have anywhere between 100 to 700 cases a year, ranging from child neglect and abuse. Although each tribal agency had their own goals and objectives, they each had 2 main goals to accomplish. The first was to develop and put into practice a documented policy, practice, and culturally responsive procedure manual. The manual will be family-centered and will have all the native values that each tribe wants to implement. The second goal was to develop a data-driven decision-making process that follows those procedures and policies. The article gets in depth in the process of implementing their goals by mapping out the steps that a social worker has to go through when they're handling a case. In conclusion of the article, there were many challenges of implementing the foster care system in the Native tribal agencies. The Native American population needs to have tribal leaders that will continue to implement the policies and procedures that the agencies have learned, and must also take care of the workers who are trying their hardest to keep the Native children safe in a reliable environment.
Thank you. All right, what solutions did you point out? Jonathan had a model to be practiced. It might not work for every tribe, but it had some goals with developing policies, procedural manuals. What other solutions did you locate for your topic?
Mine was that kinship program.
The kinship program,
Just
another one.
More advocacy about how it is our job to take care of our children, and just to get everybody more involved, because I don't think everybody assumes you have to be perfect to do this. Like you have to have a perfect background. I have had a criminal background. I'm sober and clean now, but like even I got certified, and as long as you're doing great, like if we could get more people involved. And there was also a thing, I kind of went down the rabbit hole with it. So there's a thing where over in Australia they did where they put a nursing home and a daycare next to each other, and the elders would go over and help the overwhelmed staff, and just made the children's lives so much more better. Like it would be so cool if our tribe implemented like a nursing home on base and the daycare next to each other, so they could kind of, whoever, the elders that were available, or even just make elders available to help with like a daycare program or something.
My sister-in-law manages a daycare in a rest home. She has for 25 years. Interesting.
That's amazing.
But they
Just 'cause
yes,
I get to be part of people's
generations.
lives and stuff. I
yes.
think it would be so awesome if our tribe. did
Plus,
stuff
the
like that.
workers have a place to bring their child,
Yeah.
you know. Good. Anything else for solutions? Taylor had several. She had the look of, don't call on me, you know, the don't call on me look. Did you see that one? It's on camera. But no, solutions were in each one of your summaries, believe it or not. Any questions from the audience? Yes.
How long was the process?
Oh,
Mhm.
so it takes like 6 to 9 weeks depending on how quickly you do it, because it's like it's computer based. So you do a bunch of videos you have to watch because they train you on how to do it, because you're gonna get kids that have been in trauma. Oh my God, one of them made me bawl because it took a 3-year-old out of a home that had cigarette burns all over her inside. Like, so it's hard to get through and go through, but then it makes you more empowered to want to help, because the parents are just part of that generational trauma thing that, like, all they knew was alcohol and drugs growing up. So they just become repetitive trauma, and until it's broken, until you heal the littles of a nation, you won't heal the nation.
I have another question. Do you have to be a certain age?
Nope. I'm a single mom. Like I told you, I have a criminal background. I've been doing great. They needed all that, like my probation officers, my recovery, everything that I'm in. I'm a peer support. I'm in college to go back to being an addiction counselor. So they needed all that documentation, of course, like just proof that you're amazing. You know what I mean? You'll do a criminal background. I do fingerprinting. There was that training course plus a Native American training course on how to raise Native kids, even though you're Native, you still have to take it. But it took maybe about 5 months total with all the different trainings and all the different things you have to do to actually get certified. And it's really amazing in-depth training, and it helps you in a sense too with like your own thought processings, and it pointed out some stuff that I had from trauma of my childhood and stuff. So it's really an amazing training to go through. They are so in-depth and caring about doing this. They don't just hand a kid, but anybody can be a foster parent. So if y'all can mention to your family members, especially like people that already are raising other people, to get certified, because there's programs that help them too with funding on raising other people's children. I mean, that's not what it's about, but like they help you, so it's not like you'll take them on and just add another cost to your life. It actually pays for them to be in your home, so they're not. They just need love, lots of love.
How much does the certification cost?
Nothing. I haven't paid a thing. Even with the background checks, I thought I was gonna have to pay all these fees because it has it on there, but the state actually takes care of all of that. So, like I said, the government's really involved in helping this, so as long as you get on board, or people that want to get on board, like I tell anybody and everybody that I come to.
Is there a club on campus that could get the word out as well?
Ooh,
Social
I
work
didn't
club,
even think of
because
that.
like the Sustainable Egg, clubs can also get that word of mouth.
I'm part of the psychology club.
Yeah,
I could,
that could,
yeah,
and even if
social work and mental
you
health.
get 1 or 2 per year, that's 1 or 2
Right.
more Native American foster parents out
I'm gonna
there.
bring it up at the meeting
Yeah.
on Wednesday. I like that. Thank
Yeah.
you. It
Yeah.
didn't even dawn on me, so thank you.
Oh, no, it's systems, and each group has different issues, but you don't have to reinvent solutions sometimes. They're already built, and it's just a
Yeah.
transplant.
Like those kinship system.
Yes.
I mean, that's already part of all of our nations. Like, no matter what Native tribe you're from, we all know my cousin's my auntie. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? We all are cousins. So like, taking on our children isn't.
Mhm.
I've had, I took in nieces and nephews and cousins all my life, and I didn't even realize I was being a foster parent. I was just doing what family do, so.
Mhm. Good. Anything else? Good questions. All right, you may conclude.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys.